Hi everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of Why People Buy, where we talk about marketing, psychology, strategy behind decision making by consumers. Today I have somebody I'm super excited to have with me, my very good friend and batchmate Priyam Saraswat, who is an entrepreneur par excellence, but also a content creator, which I think unless and until you have been living under a rock, you'd have seen at least one video of Priyam pop up on your Instagram, your YouTube, or across the platforms that you use. Priyam, welcome. So excited to have you on board today.
Thank you so much, Aditi, for this warm introduction. Hello, everyone. Super excited to be part of your show, and yeah, let's get it rolling. Yeah, I'm excited for the
Absolutely,
questions.
thank you,
Share
Priyam.
my
And
yeah.
before we get started, I want to tell you a small story. I just last week, right? My father keeps sending me these YouTube and Instagram reels. He sent me this reel saying you should watch this, video. This house is amazing. I had that amazing sense of pride and joy. I called up my dad and said, you know what, this guy is my friend. I'm so happy that he has reached you as well. So we're all cheerleading Priyam, and we're so excited about how amazing your journey has been as a content creator. So let's delve a little bit deep into that first. Like, tell us, how did this happen? Like, was it something you always wanted to be a content creator? Did you stumble upon, content creation? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, see, always wanted to create something. Always, starting my school, I used to do theater. College also a little bit here and there. Some comedy skits, some right, the fun stuff we used to do in college, right? So of course, I had an act that I need to do something. But honestly, like this journey was pretty much serendipitous. Right? I would do houses, or I would go deep into people's personalities. Very much serendipitous. How it happened. I had my own house, right, and we had to put it on rent, right? So I thought, let's not go the boring route. Let's try to do something fun, and let's see what happens, right? Doesn't matter. Before that, I had like a private profile, just like uh, end of last yearish. I had like a private profile, probably 400, 500 followers, right? That's it. I thought that let's do something crazy. So I did like a short house tour of that house, and it was like slightly different. It was not like a usual 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom house. It was like a very modular house, like a 2 bedroom house, which would convert into a 3 bedroom. Everything would open up, like your workstation would just open up from here. A third bedroom would just open up. It was like very good sort of utilization of a small space, right? And I made a video, very natural, very casual. Just switched on the camera and just shot it. Like probably took me like 15-20 minutes to do that, right? And I posted it, right? That this is the house and giving for rent, and there's a caveat that this is only open for bachelors and live-in couples. No family allowed. Just to keep it a bit quirky. So and then to my surprise, I got like 10,000 plus applications in like 2 or 3 days. It went fairly viral. It went fairly touched a million views in a few days, probably 4 or 5 days, and like my inbox was flooded with messages. So that's how it started. That was the first content which I posted on, and since I had to post it, I wanted it to reach more people. I made like my profile open, like it was not a closed profile anymore. I made it open. So yeah, that's how it started. And yeah, it's been like that's how it started. And then I went to the US, and then I sort of got busy with work, and I sort of forgot, right? Then I came back, and this is like again May-ish of this year. Uh, uh, we were just chilling at a friend's place, and she had a very nice house with like a garden on like fourth floor, and the entire society was a very green society. And many times people used to walk by, and they just wondered, "Okay, what's there inside this house, right?" That's a theme of my content, that people usually want to see what's happening inside some of the nice houses, right? That's where people get excited about, and we'll talk more about the hooks in content which make people sort of watch it till the end, etc. So that's something which people. So that house, we just again very casually we just shot the house, and she did as a uh, as the owner, and I was the host, and we just walked around and talked about some of her personal stuff, some of her accolades, some of the elements inside the house, how and why she did those. And again, to my surprise, it went viral. And then I thought that, okay, there's something to it, right? Let's try to be more disciplined around making this content. So that's how ultimately. So it was like a two-step validation, and that's I got more serious after this this friend of mine's house tour. Yeah.
Super exciting. I remember actually I was at one of the parties at your home when this video had recently become very popular, the first one, and we spoke about it. And so the early signals were there, right? And then basically what you did was you ensured that you also maintain discipline. I think that's what goes from like one viral video to actually being a viral content creator. I think those steps, the right set of steps are also important. So Prim, really exciting origin story, I might say. uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but you're not just popular on Instagram. You're also quite popular on YouTube, right? I think you have more than 2 lakh followers on YouTube, and you're very close to
Almost.
hitting a 1 million mark soon on Insta.
Yeah. Almost 3 lakh on YouTube now.
Almost 3 lakh on YouTube, right? Almost 3 lakh on YouTube and Insta. I think you're. I'm just waiting for that 1 million mark to be hit. So we are all super excited for that.
Next week. Next week. Next week.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So these are two very different platforms, right? And as a marketer, right, we also, from a marketing standpoint, we try to understand and crack the two platforms
Yeah.
very differently from one another, right? So help us, as someone who's cracked both, right? Help us understand how the two platforms work, what is different from a consumer behavior standpoint, right? And what should one know, right, about each platform to be able to crack that?
Cool. Nice question. So I would start with a very, very fundamental difference between these two, right? It's primarily around the shelf life. The shelf life on Instagram is very less, probably 3, 4, 5 days maximum. So if you post a content, just like the curve goes literally like this. Like for the first 3 to 5 days, you'll get like probably 90-95% of viewership and engagement. But YouTube is something which is honestly like it's just immortal. It just lives forever. Like there are content pieces probably made like when YouTube started, and they're still getting like good viewership now as well, right? So YouTube sort of incentivizes you to make good content, good quality content, which stays like forever. Instagram just wants you to churn out content like on a daily basis, and they incentivize you to make more, and so that the users can just keep on scrolling, right? And they want more and more content to keep coming, especially when they are into you. When they are into your profile. Instagram would, I mean, and they would incentivize you and penalize you as well for not posting content at a certain frequency. They would get your sort of engagement and viewership down. That's how the algorithms work. But YouTube, in general, even if you're posting probably once a month or so, but it's a good quality video, you will get similar engagement. That's like a one primary difference. But YouTube has something called a YouTube Short now. So for someone who is like an early creator who just started, right? I would recommend is that you should have Instagram. You make a reel, right? Which is very short form content. 90 seconds is the limit. On YouTube, there's something called a YouTube Short. So you should upload the same thing. That algorithm is pretty much similar. There, the shelf life is also similar. The way algorithm works, the way human psychology works, the way dopamine hits work, that is pretty much similar. YouTube, it has sort of bifurcated into shorts and the long form content. Long format is for like good, serious, good quality content. Should be ideally 8 minutes to monetize on that. So everyone tries to keep it at least 8 minutes, whereas shorts is just 60 seconds, right? So shorts is similar to reels, but the YouTube long format is a different ball game altogether. And like the way algorithm works, the way overall human psychology works, it's a very different intention when you sort of look for a long format. How you search for it, how do you watch it? So everything, like from your production to your overall thought process, the hooks you want to put, everything is completely different from like a short format and the long format. So yeah, I mean it's a long discussion, but broadly these are the primary differences between these two platforms.
And specific to YouTube, you mentioned Shorts is very much like Instagram Reels. So do you see Shorts being an acquisition channel for your longer content? Like, do you see a lot of your longer content views coming from Shorts, or are they sort of parallel in the way they work?
No, absolutely. That's one sort of acquisition funnel. Honestly, if you ask me, I am yet to go really deep on long format because I'm trying to balance these two lives. So right now I'm not, but I'm for the next phase, probably early next year, you will see some really really good high quality long format also coming in. But from what I've seen, early signs, absolutely, there's something called so you can map like a short to a long format video. So it will work perfectly in my case because I usually keep getting a lot of requests that I want to see a full video. Where is the full video available? Blah blah blah. And I think I have a lot of my Instagram followers have actually migrated to YouTube as well. So I think there's a lot of intersection between those two sort of followers and subscribers. So definitely that's an acquisition channel, because shorts ka reach will always be much more than long format, because ultimately people are just scrolling, right? You're not going and actively searching. In YouTube, you have to go and search, or something which just come, like you just click on a thumbnail, right? So like the intent has to be really high when you want to watch like a long format video. But this, it's just the algorithm pushing the content on you, right? So of course the viewership is always, I would say, 5 to 10x more on a short compared to the long format. But the actual game, the serious game, is long format, right? If you want your recall, your brand to sort of survive and thrive, you need to get into the long format, right? That's definitely, I mean, all the serious creators are doing good long format. So for sure, yeah, that has to be there. But
Long
short
format is a
thing is to,
long format is a long term play, but it's critical for you to kind of build that from a strategic standpoint, if I'm understanding correctly.
exactly. Like short format is like an MVP, right? If you think about it, the effort is low, you can just get it shipped right, and you can get the signs of game whether the content is working or not, right? Because long format is a lot of time, a lot of money invested, and I would not recommend someone who's just starting to just start from long format, right? Because you spend so much time and money, and if it's not working, you would not. I mean, you would just waste that, right? So yeah, I mean, short format is good to begin with, but if you are getting more serious in the game, you should definitely think about long term, because it just stays forever, right? Yeah.
Got it. But do you see the need for a different production strategy for the two, or do you see that as an umbrella that you create and then you just ensure that you take cuts for the short format? Like, how do you approach that from a production standpoint?
Production is different actually. Wait, let me show you. So this is short format. That's how you shoot, right? That's an iPhone. You can just switch it on and you can just shoot it from the, because it's vertical, right? Shots and reels are
Yeah,
vertical.
yeah.
Long format is horizontal. So you need different shots for that. Honestly, yeah.
In different shots, yeah. But you still shoot in the same time, right? You don't essentially, for
Shoot at
example,
the same time. You shoot at the same time, but you have to do retakes and stuff, or you probably need two cameras. But it gets very clumsy. To do the two cameras at once. So usually it's like, for, I would say, for most of the serious content, you need to have like a double production setup. Yeah,
got it. Yeah,
editing is also
actually, as
very
somebody
important.
who's spent time in marketing and AI, I think this is the problem that AI should solve for.
Yeah,
you know,
dude, I don't know why still in the 21st
cameras.
century why they are not solving this basic, like, horizontal to vertical conversion is such a big pain point. If someone is building this, I would
Exactly.
invest some money.
Yeah, I mean, I every time we get a shoot done at office, I'm always like, why do we need to do this twice? Why is there no
Yeah,
solution
that's
to
big.
solve for
That's a
this?
tough one.
That's probably food for thought for people to solve. Actually,
Exactly. Yeah, the next $1 billion idea.
the next billion
I'll
dollar
buy it.
idea.
I'll pay $10 a month if someone makes something like this.
Absolutely. So no, that's super interesting, Graham. I think the platform POV really helps. The other POV that would be great to get from you is that you're also an entrepreneur. So you also create, I'm sure, business focused content, right? And for me as a marketer, for us marketers, right? There's always this question about personal lens versus business lens for content, right? So, what are the similarities versus what are the differences, right, in the approach that one should look at when when creating content as a brand versus creating content at a personal capacity, which also is a brand, but that's a personal brand versus a business brand.
Yeah, yeah, great question. So, one key similarity, of course, is that you need to add value in the life of the one consuming, right? That's the basic, I would say, for any that's how I tell anyone, right? If you build something, how is it adding value to the life of the person consuming it, right? Are they getting some information out of it? Are they getting like pure entertainment out of it? Are they getting motivated in some way? Is it aspiring? It should be either in one of these buckets, right? If it's not in any of these buckets, then, I mean, or even if you're thinking that which bucket it is in and it's taking you a lot of time to think, I think it's not the right content. Right? That's the primary similarity. Uh, some differences, of course, when you're trying to build for businesses, right? When you're trying to build like a some content from, I would say the consumer part is more or less similar. I build my business is B2B, and we sell to restaurant chains in the US. So that is a bit different. When you're building for consumer, I feel and you see, right, the kind of content Zomato is shipping these days, pretty much like any how any content creator would just build for their audience, right? So when you're building a consumer brand, I feel the overlap is very very high, especially at least the new age content is coming in on socials. But when you're building for B2B, when you're building for businesses, I feel value add should primarily be around how they can grow their business using your content. At least that's what has worked for us, right? So we don't try to put our brand sort of on the face and try to sell anything. We just try to just add value in their business. So like our product solves for third party or the online channels for the restaurants in the US, right? So our pretty much our content is around how can a restaurateur or restaurant brand benefit from our content in their day-to-day life, right? How let's say like 10 best ways to market your restaurant DoorDash, right? What are the 10 primary mistakes that you do? And then of course they could be like a very subtle plug-in of your brand. That's something like information, and getting them to uh, learn more from your content could be or should be the primary strategy. But when you are building for a B2C, it could be like completely vague, as vague as like Zomato just roasted themselves, right? It would be like very random stuff, honestly, and that works. Something quirky, something catchy. It should be, not. It should just catch their attention in the first 5 or 7 seconds, right? That's the whole ball game, I would say. That's very similar to the consumer part, and like a B2C content creator, but B2B sort of content is very much around sort of information, and could be infotainment, like mix of information and entertainment. But I feel information should take like a primary seat without you being like salesy, or just trying to plug in your brand everywhere. If you're not, you should try to be very subtle in that. That's what I've seen has worked for us. Yeah.
Yeah, so not being salesy, I think, is critical, because the moment you're just being salesy everywhere, you just don't
Yeah.
connect with people. Right? You get so little of the attention today. Right? The attention is divided
Yeah.
amongst so many different platforms, so many different kinds of
Absolutely.
content. That making sure that you're not sounding salesy is super critical. And I think
Yeah.
being on brand also to some extent matters. Even for B2C, maybe I don't know if you saw that recent. Recent news about this particular company. I can't remember where they did a shot on Gen Z boss in a mini, and it got a lot of negative
Yes.
virality with that way. So basically,
Negative
they
analytics
tried
is good,
to.
no? Is it
Sorry,
bad? Negative analytics is also good,
that's
no?
an
Is it
important
bad?
question. Yeah, is it bad? Is it bad? Because at least people remember
Honestly, I don't think.
remember the. Yeah,
I don't think so. It's bad. I mean, the problem is that you're not able to recall the brand names. That's good. That's bad for them.
and that's just
If you
my
can,
memory. It sucks. Otherwise, I'm sure other people would.
I think Zomato does a lot of quirky stuff, and half of them,
Yeah,
if you read the comments, if you see the sentiment, half of the sentiment is bad only, but it works for them, right? They are People always remember, unless it's like something very very shady or something grossly
yeah,
morally ethically wrong they're doing. Uh,
yeah.
anyway,
All
it's negative
publicity
wrongs.
is good publicity to a great extent. I guess the Deepinder
All
issue
that, yeah.
recently.
Unless they're doing something grossly wrong, yeah, something like
Yeah.
very ethically or very morally wrong. Great.
Or maybe political issues. Maybe brands should also steer clear of political opinions,
Yeah.
because those could go either way. Basically,
I mean,
yeah,
there's only one way: you end up in jail.
that's true. In India,
Yeah.
and so yeah, very very interesting. And I also know that a lot of your content goes viral. Just the example I gave of my dad sharing that video, right? It means it's basically viral because he's not probably the TG that typically watches the videos. So any thoughts on the psychology of viral content? Anything that you've learned, right? What works? I know that it's not always, um, you know, replicable. But what is the psychology? What are the thoughts that you have on virality?
Yeah, again, broad, very very broad, high level meta answer is adding value to the life. So how would you do that? It could be pure play entertainment. You need to know your forte. You need to understand why are users actually pressing that like or the share. That it's all about the three. There are only three things, right? Otherwise, your engagement is shit, and you won't get. That's how the algorithms work, right? So either the person should just get something, just press the like button, right? Okay, yeah, this is amazing. Let me just press the like button. Or this is really really amazing. I need to put my viewpoint in front of people. I need to go ahead and comment something like amazing or fuck all house or really good house, or tag their friends that I should get something like this. That's like one very very strong urge to put my viewpoint, right? That's the commenting. And third is like, for any reason, I want to share it with my friends, family, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, right? Those are the only three triggers you want. Ultimately, you have to just back calculate what will lead my audience to do either of these three actions, right? Pretty much that's it. That's the whole game, I would say, in content. And now, uh, of course, different for very different categories. There are creators who are just throwing information. So pretty much, people will share with their like for finance, right? Just information they will just share with their friends, family. Care is go like whatever tax bracket, 5 ways to save tax, blah blah blah, something like very very shareable content, right? That can get viral. For me personally, what has worked is mostly it's around aspiration that people at some point in their life would aspire to get something like that, right? Or they aspire to become someone like that. So that's why I try to and I incorporate the feedback. Everyone asked me that we need to know that what does this person do, that is built or she has built this amazing house, right? And we could aspire to do that. So, and I've now started to ask that and incorporate that feedback, right? Someone was doing in my last video, and he had a crazy house, and he turned out to be a puja samagri business guy. So a lot of people they started sharing, and they're doing, oh wow, puja samagri is such a lucrative business, and they'll just share with their friends कि यार puja ka business करते हैं types. Just one hook for them to share, right? Or they left after the facade of the house कि यार अगला घर बनाएंगे तो ऐसा facade बनाएंगे types. So all these things, like ultimately it should either be shareable, or the urge to like or comment should be really really high. It should actually connect with your emotions, right? So what has worked for me, honestly, in just one word, is aspirational content. Right? People generally, and that's one thing which I try to replicate across all my content pieces. It could be a very very small house, it could be a very plush, opulent house, doesn't matter, but it should aspire uh, some part of you to incorporate some part. I mean, like it's a sustainable house, right? It's a small house, it's sustainable, or it's a small house, but they have tried to get in all the heritage of India in under one roof, right? Or it could be anything. So it's a the common theme is aspiration. How I portray it, of course, you have to keep a common theme as same, but you of course have to offer something different. The same cheese I can't do, right? Because someone has seen something, I can't just keep on sharing similar themes, similar sort of types of houses in all my reels. So I need to keep it different, but of course have a broader theme, similar कि यार something they want to do at some point in their lives, right? Or they want to take inspiration from कि यार अगला बनाएंगे तो ऐसा बनाएंगे. That's why they'll share with their spouse, their parents कि यार आप dad आप घर बना रहे हो, आप mama घर बना रहे हो, आप ये चीज जरूर करना. Or actually, in my case, it's opposite. Parents are sharing. A lot of my friends say, "Yeah, boss, what are you doing, man?" My parents just always tell me that, "Why? When will you build a house like this?" So that also happens a lot. Parents are also sharing it with their kids. And you need to understand why are people sharing it. That's one. If you've understood that, then I think that's something which you could, of course, uh, replicate. Try to replicate. Of course, there's nothing which you could replicate. I mean, like the biggest of the production houses, they fail to you read the human psyche, and their movies also fail. Right? Some of the biggest production houses, they spend hundreds of crores, and the movie ultimately doesn't work. Right? So, हमारा तो effort कुछ भी नहीं है. Of course, you can't read it ultimately, but you can get some cues, and you can try to incorporate those cues in your content. You just need to understand for your content what is leading the people to press those three buttons, right? That's the whole game altogether, honestly. Yeah. YouTube, Instagram, I think these are similar across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, सब कुछ. These fundamentals are always similar. कि आप comment कर रहे हो, आप like कर रहे हो, आप share कर रहे हो. ये आप नहीं कर रहे हो, that means your content is not और या फिर end तक देख रहे हो. That's also one key parameter. अगर आप skip कर दे रहे हो, so you should. That's a primary criteria. You have to watch it till the end, otherwise the algorithm will screw you up very badly. If the first 1,000 people came on your content and they did not watch, like 90% of them, they just skipped it, your reel, the algorithm won't give you reach any.
Not engaging. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not engaging at all. And it's all, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying Instagram is all about algorithm, honestly, right? So how it works is how a reel reaches, let's say, 10 million views. So I'll tell you how the algorithm works. So first, Instagram will show it to 1,000 people. Let's say 1,000 of your followers and 1,000 of your non-followers, and they'll see the trends in those just in 1,000 views only. They'll get to know क्या क्या चल रहा है. If the 1,000 people engage really well, it'll show to the next 10,000. In the next 10,000, if it does really well, then it'll show to the next 100,000. The next 100,000 will do well, then it'll show to the next 1 million. That's how the algorithm works, right? So if the first 1,000 people are not engaging, not viewing till the end, not sharing, then you'll probably get 5,000 views only.
Got it. Which is where also the length of the content becomes important. If it's
Yeah.
too long, then people will drop off, right? How much do hooks, for example, leveraging trends, does that also matter? Like the dopamine angle that you were talking about
Yeah.
also comes in there,
Yeah.
basically.
No, absolutely, it matters. Absolutely. I mean, the biggest creator on the planet, Mr. Beast, right? If you see his videos on YouTube, he's a long format guy. I mean, he doesn't post. I think very so about that he does on Instagram and TikTok. He's a but still he needs hook. So after every, let's say it's a 20-25 minute video, after every 3 to 4 minutes there will be a sort of a footage where he'll say watch till the end to see this, so that people are watching it till the end, right? So even if he needs it, obviously everyone else needs it, right? So yeah, I mean, of course, you need hooks, because people, the attention span has gone down. Honestly, if you ask me, I try to watch a podcast every single night, but from the past 1 month, I've not completed a single one. Right? Because I just stop off and sleep and doze off and probably watch the reels and sleep. Because it's something which is not very catchy after like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right? So you need to sort of make sure that attention, because the attention span is going down. That's the hard truth, right? There's so many
Time is
moods of
less. Whatever little time you have, you it's distribute it amongst the things.
exactly, and you're flooded with options, right? You're literally flooded. Like पहले तो क्या था? There was you have to watch 8 to 8:30. You have to watch a show on TV, right? There's no other option only. Your attention span 100% only. कुछ है ही नहीं देखने को.
Yeah.
There are like literally 100,000 things you can watch. So अभी reels भी है, अभी Netflix है, Hotstar है, Sony है, Amazon Prime है, अपना reels है, अब YouTube Short है, अब US इंडिया के बाहर TikTok भी है. There are so many things, right? So if you are not catching the attention of a person, they'll just move on to the next. This one of the next reel, honestly, or this one of the next video. Yeah,
Yeah.
that hook is very important. Could be, and that is very subjective. Honestly, there's no one answer, but you
Yeah.
have to find out a way to make sure that they watch till the end. Yeah. For me, what has worked is that I'm entering a house and I'm writing a nice caption that inside this house. So they usually tend to watch it till the end, or at least till a significant part, until they get bored, right? But at least they don't scroll up like immediately. There are many reels that just scroll up immediately. Like, देखना ही नहीं है ये. That happens very less in my case, because I try to keep a catchy caption, and now there's some trust and some brand is also there, right? Brand value is also there. They know that something interesting will come when I see a video side the video. So they tend to watch it for at least 20-30 seconds, and उसके बाद if they don't like it, they skip it, of course. Yeah.
Got it, Priya. No, thank you. That's super helpful, and which means keeping your eyes on the key metrics is important. Engagement is super important. It's not just views. Ensuring that people are engaging with the content is super critical. Any macro trends that you are seeing which you want marketers to be aware of in the world of social media, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, any big macro trends?
Yeah. I think India in general, I feel, is getting very aspirational. In general, like luxury brands, luxury travel, luxury houses. In my case, right? So in general, I feel aspiration is a trend which is there, like not just content, it's everywhere, right? People, if you talk about, my circle, probably right now they talk about very aspirational stuff, as to what they used to talk like probably 5 years earlier, right? So in general, people are excited about, or they at least want to know more about what are the good aspirational things happening, right? What are the nice holidays they could go to? What are the nice clothing? What is some of the nice clothing brands they could try to purchase, if not now, in future, right? So like aspirational, I feel aspirational content is something which someone who's just started to probably work right out of college, earning 20, 30, 40K, say leke someone who is probably in their 40s or 50s can actually afford it. It works, I think, across the spectrum. That is something, at least in the way India is progressing. I think that is something which I feel is very interesting, and that's a trend which I've personally seen in my content, right? So yeah, that's something uh, I feel brands should think about in general. How can they get in the aspirational aspect, not just trying to sell features or something, trying to sell a dream as well. कि यार ये चीज हो सकती है कभी. Like there is a possibility of you doing this. I mean, like all the coaching institutes, they just sell aspiration, right? I mean, they know that the selection percentage is so low, but still everyone aspires to be there. Everyone probably pays to be there, or watches like or does the coaching courses to be there, right? Similar, I feel that at some point, if you can show them कि कभी ऐसा हो सकता है, in that case, ultimately it boils down to like, comment, share, right? Either they will just like it, or this save is actually the fourth one, honestly. Yeah. And Instagram is a save option as well. You can just save a reel. A lot of people they save my reel कभी कभी कुछ किया तो कभी use करेंगे, or they just share it with their loved ones or friends and family. तो वो चीज है that if it is aspirational, uh, um, they would try to engage in some way. That's one thing which I've seen across
Yeah.
industries, and content maybe across the spectrum. Yeah,
It absolutely makes sense. Even self improvement, in a way, leads you to an aspirational life that you want, right? And the
yeah,
larger
absolutely.
number of
Yes, yeah,
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 right. The larger number of ads that I see are the ones where people tell you how to get rich, how to
yeah,
how to invest better,
yeah,
how to. Those are all aspirational stories.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, how to get fitter, how to get abs and stuff like that, right? Yeah, we'll just share it. Yeah, कि कभी करेंगे कि कभी ऐसी like 5 meals to get abs in 2 months, like something like that. And you just get this kind of
Right.
caption. That's inspiring,
Right.
right? So they'll say where they like it, just share it. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
your content becomes viral.
That's a great insight. In fact, even B2B brands from that perspective should think about how they can help their customers reach their aspirational state. I think that's the
Yeah, absolutely,
that the
absolutely.
B2B should think about as well. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
great,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
awesome, Priyam. Thank you so much. I think I learned a lot in these 30 minutes, and I'm super excited for you to hit that 1 million, and then the 10 million, right? So that
hopefully,
hearing you.
hopefully. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was I had a great time. Yeah, yeah. All the
Thank
best
you.
for everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot,
All right.
and
Okay.
look forward to
Bye.
catching up
Bye, everyone.
soon.
Bye.